Classic WoW has officially been out for 1 week, and for those of you that have been playing, you'll know it's been kind of crazy in a bunch of different ways. If you're here to figure out exactly how the free character transfers work, timestamp is in the top of the description. There are a couple things I want to talk about because they're pretty relevant even to a casual gamer, especially if you haven't taken the plunge into Classic yet, just for whatever reason. Maybe you aren't sure if the game lives up to the hype, maybe you don't trust this to be a truly faithful recreation of vanilla WoW, maybe you've been scared about how buggy it looks, or maybe you just didn't want to deal with all the crazy day 1 or week 1 rush, massive influx of players and all that. I'm going to touch on all these things near the end of the video, and I'm going to quickly recap and give my advice as to all of these things. Firstly, I want to get out of the way some WoW Classic news. Our World First Level 60 is Joker in EU, a gnome mage who AoE frost farmed and hit level 60 in about 3 days and 20 hours. He streamed most of this, and as he was hitting level 60, he reached somewhere like 350,000 viewers on Twitch. Speaking of Twitch, during the name reservation period alone, World of Warcraft was not only with the most viewers, but it almost broke 1 million. Ever since, I don't think I've seen it drop from the top spot. Also last Sunday, the Guild Apes finished Molten Core and Onyxia. I think the raid group only consisted of like 25 level 60s as well. In fact, that seems to be the case with a lot of progressing guilds right now. Okay, so if you've been playing, or should I say attempting to play, you'll know that there have been a ton of server queues. I want to talk about how we got here, what Blizzard is trying to do to fix it, and how you as a player can cope with all this mess. A week or so before day 1 when Blizzard released the server name list, it was just too small, and not just in NA, pretty much everywhere else as well, but I'm going to be talking about NA for most of this video. We knew it was too little because basically every server had queues for the name reservation period alone. The game wasn't even out yet and it was already overpopulated. So currently, we're sitting at a total of 32 NA servers, not including Oceanic servers seen here. There is one RP server for NA East, one RP PvP server for NA East, and one for NA Pacific. For PvE realms, there's 5 for NA East and 4 for NA Pacific, and for PvP realms, the most popular, there's 11 for NA East and 9 for NA Pacific. Even with the 32 servers that we have and layering, there are still some servers experiencing a lot of queue times over a week after release, and so they've implemented 3 new servers and are allowing people on certain high and full pop servers to transfer their characters for free to these new servers and some other low pop servers. The new servers are Heartseeker and Earth Fury, both NA East PvP, and Arcanite Reaper, NA Pacific PvP. So here's how the free character transfers work. If you are on one of these servers on the left here, at least for right now, you are eligible for transfer of any of your characters to the corresponding realms. For example, Insidious players can transfer their characters to Netherwind. They cannot transfer their characters anywhere else though, and Netherwind characters cannot be transferred to Insidious. It's a one-way shot. You are able to transfer your characters either at the character select screen or even in queue. I kind of wish I had made this video a little bit sooner, but honestly, I wouldn't make any rash decisions about this. Sit on it a bit and see if your server becomes a little bit healthier after other people have left. Unless you have nothing keeping you on that realm, then, screw it, hit the road. Another thing to put this all in perspective and to show why this is relevant, the Classic WoW dev team has already said that the threshold of these population indicators are much higher than they were in vanilla. A low pop server in Classic could be a medium pop server in vanilla. A medium pop server in Classic is most likely anywhere from a high to full pop server from vanilla. From what I gather, the dev team wants the true server caps to be a little bit higher than they were in vanilla as a design choice. And bear in mind, we're still in phase 1, and that means we still have layering. So even with people spread out all over the world and layering still in effect, there's still some overcrowding, and removing layering is another thing. How is Blizzard going to deal with the same overcrowding issues once all the layering is gone? Well, it looks like the free realm transfers are going to be our best bet. I think they're going about this the right way. I think they're doing a good job of gauging population in an attempt to make servers that won't end up with a dead population. And speaking of layering, let's talk about how that's going. Really well, in my experience at least. It looks like they fixed all or almost all of the bugs that were happening and the world still feels alive. I'd see people in general chat or leveling in the Barrens, and then a couple days later see that same person in Terran Mill. The community is definitely there, it's building, it's awesome. Layering seems to be the biggest thing that people had a problem with as far as the quote-unquote faithful recreation of vanilla goes. However, there has been some talk of people exploiting layering to farm spawns like arcane crystals. People were quick to say, "I told you so," in regards to how treacherous layering is for the game. Thankfully, there was a blue post by Pazarax calming any fears, at least for me. Honestly, I'm very happy with how it's been executed this far. You can pause and read the post here, but basically it's saying that layering is almost entirely phased out at this point, but they still have some tricks up their sleeves they're currently implementing to help prevent exploitation of layering. The graphical updates they allow for at max graphic settings are also really nice. Some people want to play on what it looked like back in the day, and that's perfectly fine. You can do that. Personally, I like the new water, I like the added foliage, and I especially like that the spell effects are the same, but they have some different look to them. I don't know what you would call it, maybe a higher resolution. I don't know. They look sharper, they look smoother, but the identity of the spell effects are essentially unchanged. I like it a lot. So real quick, I want to talk about bugs. I haven't had a lot of problems, but the ones I did were very, very specific. I think the most annoying bug I've experienced so far is shaman totems not giving me buffs when they should, but I think they fixed it because I'm not running into that problem anymore, as of recently at least. I've seen some really random and strange things happen with hunter pets, mostly having to do with targeting, but overall they actually seem better than they were in vanilla, at least in the very beginning. In Wailing Caverns, our hunter made the infamous jump, and his pet, instead of just freaking out and pulling the entire dungeon trying to get to us, just teleported over to him. Also, having played on private servers for so long, I got used to really shitty charge animations. Oh my god, they're so fluid now, they feel so good. Okay, so my advice, whatever it may be worth to you, if you're worried about a faithful recreation of vanilla WoW, or you're worried about bugs, don't be. If you're worried about the dev team not communicating or listening to the player base, don't be. They're doing an amazing job. So if you're trying to avoid the day one or week one rush, I'd say you're in a good spot to start playing if you heed some advice. 1, don't roll on a high pop server. If you want a healthy population, do not roll on high pop. High pop is not healthy. The game and its economy with drop rates and respawn times is not designed for high population. Also, queue times suck, objectively. 2, if you're on a server that has queue times and you need to relog for whatever reason or you disconnect, don't freak out. There's a grace period whenever you DC that if you log in within that period, I think it's about a couple minutes, you either log back into the game just fine, or if you were in queue and you DC, you just keep your place in queue. 3, I want to say generally avoid quest with named mobs. There is a dynamic spawning system similar to how there was in vanilla. This was confirmed by a blue post a little while back, but named mobs still have long timers, and you'll find tons of groups just camping the spawns. This should hopefully cease to be a problem soon. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully some of you can find some use out of this. I hope it helped. Thanks for watching. More videos are definitely going to come out, and I've been kind of doing nothing but playing Classic for the past week. Hey, for those of you that care, big news, I just hit 1,000 subscribers, and I wanted to give a big thank you to all of you. I really do put a ton of work into the Beginner's Guide to Classic and the supplemental guides, and I'm going to try to monetize them now. I want to be as transparent as possible about that. Also, I just got affiliated on Twitch. I'm streaming about every day in the evenings at random times depending on my work schedule and server queues. I'd love to see you guys pop by the chat and say hi. I figured since I'm gaining so much traction as well, I'd make a Twitter account for my channel, so I have that now, and I'll be posting updates on my stream schedule and updates on YouTube videos and little cheat sheets I make for Classic WoW here and there. Anyways, let's talk about myself. There is a level 33 druid that is not going to go play itself, so thanks again, and I'll see you next time.